and a warm welcome back to our Home Ed Adventures UK. Great to have you back again, and I hope you've been enjoying the wonderful weather, the wonderful sun. I love home educating at this time of year, seeing the seasons change, getting to enjoy those lovely sun rays and the vitamin D on our skin. We just love it. So I hope you've been enjoying it too, and hope you're well. So today we are going to be talking about a very contentious subject, socialisation in home education. And I say it like that because that has probably been the biggest contention since I've started. And I'm not going to lie, even in our adventure, it was an issue at one point. Thankfully, not anymore. So without further ado, I'm going to delve into the big aspect of socialisation and home education, because it is a big part. And if you're anything like me, my family, most of us, myself, especially my middle and my youngest child, not so much my eldest, she takes after her dad. She's more introverted, so she could stay at home for weeks and probably not notice. But myself and my two other children were definitely outdoorsy and people's people and extroverted. So at the beginning of our adventure, I was the only one in my family and my close friendship circles who was home educating. So that meant that when it came to term time, we were quite isolated, to be honest. And we, at the beginning, I couldn't really find a tribe. I couldn't really find my place. I didn't realise actually how shy I was, even though I was an extrovert. I realised that I was quite timid about going to new places by myself and meeting new people by myself. So it was quite hard for us to find our place of where we're at now. So I just want to share that journey to encourage people that are thinking about home educating, and or even people that are home educating that are struggling at this time. So without further ado, what is socialisation? Because it looks very different for very different people. We, as I always say, each home ed family is unique, and what your needs might not be my needs. So the great thing about home education is that you get to decide how much socialisation or not you require or you need or you want. So there's not a one size fits all. And for our particular needs, I enjoy meeting people. The more I did it, the more I got used to it, and now I thoroughly enjoy it, and I don't go in with as much trepidation as I used to. So we started off, as I said, from the very beginning, from when my children were very young. So we moved from the baby groups and into the home ed groups. Now, where do you find these groups? That's another conundrum sometimes. Or where are they? Where are all these home eders at? Well, without just hanging around in the daytime in somewhere and following the noise, that's how I can usually tell. The best place I've found to find groups, honestly, is Facebook. I know everyone doesn't like Facebook or is not on Facebook, but I would highly encourage you, if you are embarking on your home ed journey and you're not on Facebook, to even make a fake account with an alias name, so that you can just find the local groups in your area, because that's where I found the best information, to be honest, because it's easy just to type in home education in whatever area you're looking for and they come up. And usually a lot of areas, I live in London, a lot of areas are accounted for. So Facebook is a great place, and literally I found the best way to make friends is to be friendly. The Bible says to have friends, you have to be friendly yourself. But is to go to the places and meet people, befriend people, talk to people. And what I've actually found within the home ed community, that we are all in the same place. And more often than not, we've been very blessed to be part of groups that they're lovely families, they're lovely people. And, you know, we're all in it together. We're all this little tribe, you know, just in it together. You already have that thing in common where you are home educating. It's very, you know, it already bands you together. So there's always something to talk about. Hi, how, start with the name, of course, but how many children do you have? How long have you home educated? And then the conversations pretty much flow easily from there. And I've just met some lovely people, and even today I've had some lovely conversations. Again, it's a Monday right now as I'm filming. My children had swimming today, and there's just some lovely mums there. You gradually get talking, you get to know people. It's lovely to, you know, get out of the house. And I found that group on Facebook. Well, actually, a few people told me about it, and then I found them on Facebook. So it's good to it's actually, I suppose it's akin to networking. So when you go out and you meet certain people, and what I'm starting to realise now within the home ed community in London and Essex, people know people. So then you get connected, and, you know, I've met some really amazing people. So I'm really privileged to be part of this community that, you know, we just want to home ed our kids and give them opportunities to make friends as well. And you get to make friends. And for me, that was a very important aspect of it, that I'm quite a social person. I needed I've obviously, I have friends and family who don't home educate, and that's a usual thing. But I needed friends that do, you know, people that understand you, people that you can meet up with in school time. And I'm just very blessed by that. So that's initially where I started to make my first lot of friends, was this multi-sports group. And from there, a good way to make friends. So people usually will just develop groups, make trips and invite other people. And that's how you build up your connections. That's how you build up your friendships. And we met at multi-sports, and then COVID hit. So we could only go outside. Education was exempt. So we decided, okay, just before COVID hit, we were meeting. Multi-sports was on a Wednesday. We were started to meet on Mondays to go explore different forests, different places in and around London. And it was really awesome because I went to visit places that were on my doorstep, but I didn't even know about, because we just were recommending places to each other and then going together. And then our children were getting that regular meet up and interaction, which is nice as well. I think for the children to see people regularly and to be able to build up friendships for themselves, and a consistency. And I think that's nice, because then they can get to develop and navigate those friendships, that, you know, they can learn the skills of friendship and getting along with people, and even dealing with difficulties that may arise, because obviously they're children, no one's perfect. So, you know, but working through issues and giving them the opportunity to develop those skills as well. I think that is quite important, and that's nice. I've mentioned before in other previous videos that I have seen a real increase in the home ed communities. There's a lot more amazing mums that are doing so many amazing things. So I know of at least 5 or 6 mums now who they're wonderful. They just intentionally provide trips, arrange and provide trips for us and save us all the hard work. So, for example, we are going to the National Gallery on Wednesday for an art workshop, where the kids will be learning from an actual artist for an hour and a half. And that's just off the back of a mum who decided that, you know, she's going to approach you different places. So that's another thing. If you want something for your child, you can actually make a group. You know, you can actually arrange something and then advertise and get people on board to your trips as well. So there's so many, there's a number of avenues. So go to trips that are already established, or make trips yourself. Or I think it's good to initially go to trips and get a feel of how it works. And we are now part of our Classical Conversations community, and we love it so much, because it's a special place. It's a very special place for us. Like-minded. It's Christian, but Christian. So we're born again Christian. So it's like-minded. This year we've just completed what we call our cycle, and that is where we go from September to May. And now we're enjoying the sun, but we're still going to be meeting up every week, because we love each other so much, and we'll miss each other too much to not. But you really do connect, you know, on a spiritual level as well, that God really, I believe, it's a special curriculum. It's quite unique in that it is community based. So it's a curriculum, but you meet once a week for 24 weeks throughout the year. And, you know, we, as Christians, if you're Christian, you'll know that there's something about the Spirit of God just like binding you together, just God's like bringing his people together, and in unity and love. And it's just amazing. We just finished off our celebration, so 12 families in the end, and just a miracle really of how God brings us together, and all home educating with the like minds that we just want to know God and make him known, and doing this home ed life together. So if you're interested in a Christian curriculum, that you are looking for, you know, support and iron sharpening iron, you're looking for that encouragement, I 100% recommend Classical Conversations. I honestly, the growth I've seen in my kids, the just peace I have in my heart, having that place of solace, is like, you know, that once a week you're going to just be edified, you're just going to be encouraged by really beautiful, that is my tribe. I've found my tribe, thank God. Like, God has led me to some formidable women. We're part of Classical Conversations is worldwide, and the people I've met through that have just enriched my life no end. And what I love is that we have, you know, all different ages and stages, and they're just so encouraging. And we're connected through Facebook, and just, I'm very close to, because we started off in Cambridge, and there's a lot of mums from America that have been doing Classical Conversations for years and years, and I get to glean their wonderful nuggets and their richness, and see the testimony and the fruit of their children. And we're connected to Caterham, who've been here for 10 years, Classical Conversations first UK group, and to see the fruit of their children, and, you know, just their lives and their sisterhood, and you know, the way the families connect. And soon we'll be going to Caistor in Norwich, over 30 families. There's going to be nearly 200 of us embarking on Caistor, and we're just going to have an amazing time. It's like a little bit of heaven on earth, to be honest, it feels like. So that I highly recommend. Yep. Plus just going to finding groups. There's a lot of WhatsApp groups as well, but the way I found most of my WhatsApp groups is through going to groups, through my friends, making friends. So I think it's like anything, when you make friends, you know, they tell you about things, or if you're interested in something, just ask around. But definitely Facebook, I find, is the best way to connect personally. yeah, and then take it from there. Especially if you're a Christian, pray about it. I prayed. I was like, Lord, you know, especially when I was really lonely, I was like, Lord, please, can I have some home ed friends? Because these term times are long, and now there's an abundance of friends. It makes me laugh. I think I'm gonna some fallacies about socialization and home education. Okay, let's kill some cows. So firstly, a fallacy is that we're just sitting at home by ourselves and isolated. No, like wrong. In fact, you hear more often than not, sometimes the children are like, Mum, we're out too much, I want some time at home. So fallacy 1. Fallacy 2, home ed children are weird and antisocial and can't get on with people. Well, I think it's definitely a lie, obviously, because not everyone who goes to school is not weird. Like, I was weird. I was a weird primary school. I came out of my shell the end of primary school, so I was weird. I was really shy. I had one friend, and I was scared to even look at people. I was cripplingly shy, scarily shy. But and I blossomed myself, for reasons. But that's a fallacy. Like, there's so many different personalities in school. How can you tar everyone with the same brush? I might be biased. I don't think my children are weird. They can get on with anybody, schooled or home educated. They don't seem to have a problem. In fact, the opposite. They seem to be able to talk to everyone, because you'll find that home educated children, because they're not, they're used to talking to all ages. They're quite confident with getting along with every age, because the fallacy that you put a bunch of children all the same age in one place, well, when are you going to ever be in a place where everyone's your age, or even 20-30 people your age? You're not. Is that socialization? I would question the action that. Plus, they're in the real world. They are socializing in real life with real people, not just with their peers. So they're used to talking to different ages, different people. They don't, they don't have those barriers. But also, so don't believe the lies. And as it gets more popular, I think you'll see that is going to be challenged a lot more, because it's just not true. Like I've met some really amazing home educated children. I've met some really amazing school children. It's a fallacy. Okay, so also the situation as well about it is down to the parent, obviously. Especially when the children are young, they need taken to places. So there is a onus, a responsibility on the parent to actually look and provide and give the child the opportunities to socialize. So, as I mentioned before, I had to really overcome and pray and ask God to help me about this fear of going to new places. And it helped me to just pray. When I used to go, like, okay, Lord, help me to meet whoever you want me to meet. I've always, since I became a Christian, I realised your friends are very important. Who you're surrounded by, who you're influenced by, your circle is very important. So I have made it a point to pray, not just for myself but for my children as well, that God would choose our friends. So and one of my prayers is, Lord, bring who you want to bring, keep away who you want to keep away, and let me just have the friends that you want me to have. Give me wisdom in that. So I think that that's a good idea as well, because like anything, home ed, there's such a wide range of people. You do need wisdom to choose your friends wisely, and just like anything, just let God lead you in it. But this whole home education and socialisation being an issue, not for us, not anymore, especially as it gets more and more popular. Now we're so spoilt for choice. In fact, there are so many places and things to do and wonderful people to meet that we don't have enough time, we don't have enough resources. I wish we did, but it's just incredible to me that before there was just a few options out there, and now we are very spoiled, and more companies are offering us workshops and making provision for us for example. So I know we are going to Legoland tomorrow, but I know some people going on Friday that are actually going to be doing workshops at homemade workshops at Legoland. On Thursday, my kids and I were going to the garden museum as well. We've got a busy week this week, but we are going to do we're going to photosynthesis at the garden museum workshop. So it's just incredible that, as I've said, I love layered learning, I love reading about things, I love watching things, and I love actually hands-on. So especially when the weather changes like this and you get to explore the beautiful spring and all that it has to offer, we're kind of looking at plants right now and nature. So guys, don't let the lies about home education, your kids are going to be weird, your kids are not going to have friends, they're not going to be able to relate to people. Well, I'll tell you, if you join Classical Conversations, oh my goodness, these kids, they do presentation every single week, and the confidence I've seen in my children grow and how they articulate and how they present themselves, fallacy. So please don't let that put you off, and there is a lot out there. If you're thinking about it, if God's telling you to do it, the homemade community is just waiting for you. And who knows, use your gifts, use your talents. I've done trips. I lead a Classical Conversations community in East London. Use your gifts, use your talents to bless the homemade community. It is just, I have a friend and she says she puts it nicely. She says, home education is just an army of mums that are raising the next generation and leading them into whatever God has for them. So yeah, don't worry, it's not an issue. And I think people kind of just say that maybe because they don't understand and they don't really have anything else to say, and it's one of those, oh yeah, I heard that somewhere and it sounds right, but I don't actually know what I'm talking about. And like, I saw a meme, I'm going to put it in, I don't think you actually know what socialization means, what you mean when you say that. Because another thing I've heard, and it's so true, would you want your children socialized by their peers, like of the same, who are just as immature, who are just as unwise? Like, no. And I've seen the village out there. I don't want those people socializing my children. No, thank you. I think let God give them the influences and the right people that they, the right examples. So thank God that we get to, in home education, we get to also choose, and you can remove yourself where you need to remove yourself. A great thing about home education, I hear a lot of where children are being bullied in school, and the school can't or is not really doing much about it, and the children have to suffer there. Well, a great thing about home education, if you're coming across bullying, you can step away. Like, you don't have to stay in that toxic environment. So, there's so many benefits, and it is just, if you want socialization to the max, it's there. You can be out every single day. But if you don't have to. So I just encourage you, as I said, just socialization being an issue in home ed, a myth, but done intentionally, again, as I say, and especially if you do something as awesome as Classical Conversations, because you get that regular and you get to build all the way from throughout their whole home ed life, because it goes from 4 years old to 18 years old. So, and it's something that is so beautiful, and you see them become like a little family. So yeah. All right, well, God bless you, and see you in the next, and enjoy the spring. Bye.